What's going on, everybody? This is Nick Lawson from Squad Sports. We're really excited to be supporting the Free Agent Friday series. A lot of great talent out there. Without further ado, this is the next free agent you should be signing with your sports team.
All right, we're back for another Free Agent Friday, and today I've got Cynthia Charles with me. How's it going, Cynthia?
It's going. It's going.
It looks like you're at the beach there, so it can't be bad, but
I'm trying to bring the beach, bring a little sun and fun to the Zoom call.
I love it. I love it. I can take palm trees any day. So let's start off. Where'd you go to college, and any degrees that you received there?
So I went to the University of North Carolina in Greensboro, and I majored in communication studies, which is a liberal arts degree, and I also minored in Spanish. My coursework was really focused around the science and theory of communication, mixed with a little bit of PR, kind of your standard comms, just kind of your standard communications that you know in like the corporate world.
At what point did you decide you wanted to get into like sports and entertainment?
Interestingly enough, in college, when I started college, I actually wanted to be a scientist. And I just felt like, you know what, I'm a very social person, and it didn't have the social element. So I was like, oh, I'm going to major in communications and minor in Spanish because I'm French Canadian. So wanted to learn another language. I knew the value of it. So I was like, you know what, I love being social. So in college, I started writing poetry and doing slam poetry, and which allowed me to be in different venues with creatives. And I was like, you know what, I could see myself doing this for a living. Like, I was very excited to be part of these various slam poetry productions. I was always looking for new ways to make those gatherings more efficient, bring more people in. So I just started to get a tingle when I was in college. And then when I graduated from college, I actually started working in nonprofit, and loved nonprofit, really loved working, getting up every day and knowing that what I was doing was changing someone's life in a very significant way. But I would moonlight doing music videos or working on live events. And I really, really loved that, but didn't really see any inroads. And eventually I was able to kind of freelance my way into various projects, and I left the nonprofit world and ran away and joined the circus. And I mean that literally. So
like a real circus.
Real circus. So
Nice.
I started working for a circus called the Universal Circus. I was their talent and media coordinator, and in that role, it was an all-encompassing role. So I lived with the talent. And we lived, worked like we were a family, and you know, there were no days off. It was there. So we had talent from 10 or 15 different countries, spoke Portuguese, Chinese, Spanish, French. So had to be on your toes every day. So, you know, some days it was like, oh, lion got out of a cage, somebody broke their leg off a trapeze, and then you also have to do an expense report at the same time while you're trying to get your hair done because it works. So that experience was wonderful. I got to visit some of America's greatest cities for the first time. So I got to go to Chicago and LA, and just got to travel the world, got to learn about people from all over the world. And I knew after that role that I just wanted to stay in entertainment and work with creatives, empower creatives. When people ask me like, hey, Cynthia, what do you love so much about entertainment? I love the ability to take someone's creative idea and bring it to the world. I'm the person that says, okay, so you want to produce an album? All right, you do the album. I got all the other stuff. Like, you bring the music, and then I will get you the cover art. I'll get you a deal. I'll get you all those great things. And I just really take really great pride in my ability to be able to support creatives and bringing their creativity to the world. So Yeah,
That's
that's been
cool.
our.
That's a good start. And definitely, I can see, the diversity in, a circus too, which is kind of cool, working with people from all over the world and, just learning a lot about them, especially when you're so on top of each other there for that, those road trips. Walk through, some of your other stops along the way over the last 10 or 15 years.
Well, I've had some, so my longest stop actually was working for a gentleman by the name of Jeff Sharp, as part of a company called AEG Presents, which is the second largest producer of concerts in the world. And I met Jeff shortly after leaving the circus, and worked for him for 13 years. And to give a little bit of background on him, Jeff was a promoter when Prince was opening up for Rick James. So learned a lot from him. And in that role, I did a variety of things. So I did everything from ordering our insurance for shows, to helping create content, to teaching our team about social media. I started that role in 2004. So this is very much pre-Facebook and pre-Twitter. And during my time there, just being able to watch the business grow to what it is, or what it was pre-COVID, but also all of the technologies that happened over that decade. So things like mobile ticketing, before it was like people would ship me paper tickets. We would ship paper contracts to agents. And now it's like, oh no, just send me a PDF, or I'll just download the ticket. So
Right.
watching being able to be part of it and watching the progression of the business at AEG was great. Simultaneously, when I was at AEG, I started my own business called the Charles Group Inc. And basically what I did was artist management and strategic consulting. So two of my clients both had major label deals in the late 90s. They wanted to come back as independent artists. They wanted to tour, and I just helped them create the infrastructure around doing that. So reforming companies, getting booking agents, signing licensing deals or label deals. So kind of guided them through all of that. Traveled with them, went to some very interesting places. And what else during that time? Also during that time, a friend of mine started a festival called Musicfest. And, for the first couple of years, I just attended the festival and I was like, oh, this is so fun. And by the third installment, I was like, I think you may need my help. So I came on board and helped with talent initially. So helping to book talent, and also handled all of the on-site talent relations. And over the years, just had a variety of roles in, anything from ticketing to helping with the marketing, to helping negotiate our co-promoter deal. So just was able to have help support the festival in a variety of ways. So when I first started working on One Music Fest in 2012, I believe the capacity of the festival, it was a one-day festival with a capacity of about 5,000. Last year, the festival was 2 days, 20,000 people per day cap. So
that's awesome.
Again, being able to see the growth of something and being able to help lead that growth, it's just amazing to look at something and you're like, wow, X number of years later, look how far we've come, regardless of the challenges. And then what else? I got to work at Spotify for a while, helped them launch their playlist to live, which was the first time that they were taking their playlists and turning them into paid ticketed events. So kind of using my experience in that world along with to create kind of an experience, a branded experience for Spotify to help them bring one, as a new revenue stream for them, but then two, also to help market their playlists. What else have I've worked at Complex. So 2019, worked at Complex Con. brought a lot of great talent and brands together. So my favorite project with that is bringing Nas and Cadillac together to launch one of their new vehicles. And part of the launch was that Nas gave away a custom Cadillac chain. So he was able to gift it at Complex Con, and you know it was just a it was very interesting putting it out together. But again, seeing that moment where he's like giving the chain away and you're like, oh my God, all the work for this moment. And to see a happy client and to see like this guy holding a chain and smiling, you know, this is what you do it for. And then last year, I worked at Essence Fest, and I worked in the experiential team. And Essence Fest is one of the largest festivals in the US, seeing around 50,000 people to New Orleans every year. And that was also a really great experience because I was working for a brand that was centered around Black women, and I think that was the first time I'd had the opportunity to do that. So it was just amazing to like go to work every day and be amongst your cohorts, and then but also be working like in service of your community. And that was really the first time where, you know, I would sit in a meeting and everybody looked like me, and you know, had similar goals, and working in achieving those goals for our community. So that experience was just, I don't even know what the word is. Like it was just, there is no word. It was just really great to be able to have that experience.
That's very cool. A lot of good experience all over there, which is great. What would you say is kind of your ideal position that you're looking for now?
I mean, now I'm would love a position where I am doing what I've done best, where I'm taking an idea, a creative idea, and taking it from ideation to execution. So whether that's, you know, working with brands, athletes, artists to come up with products, events, charitable initiatives, that's really where I shine. It's like, okay, you have an idea, you want to get it done. I'm like, I get on the helm of the ship and like steer.
Take it.
So really, I think at this point in time, you know, one of the challenges that I've had to deal with is, you know, live events and concert business is really like my bread and butter. It's what I know. But unfortunately, that's going to be something that's going to take a while to recover. And I've had to really sit and say, you know, what are you good at? Like, what if somebody dropped you at Nike, at Adidas, at a mortgage company, at Home Depot? What could you do? Like, what are you good at? And that's the one thing I'm like, hey, if you have an idea, I know I will get you to the promised land. So it's more about the ability to continue to power creatives, like I said before, but then also creatives of all sorts, whether you're a startup founder or a musician or an athlete. Like I want to be the person that supports you in the execution of your ideas.
Yeah. And you know what, going from idea to, you know, conception and building is not easy. That is like a special gift, and I can tell that you have it. And I see it all the time working with people trying to launch businesses. Or there's a lot of great ideas out there that people have, but not many people can execute on them to get them rolling. So so that's good. What would you say is your biggest asset that you'll bring to a new position?
I'd say being able to be effective in a business environment and still be humane. I think empathetic leadership is something that I've very much lean on, and I have in the past. You know, it's been challenging in certain environments, but I think for me, one of the things that's very important is regardless of what challenges we may have in the workplace, whatever conflicts, that everybody feels like they walked away from the situation still whole, like not not demeaning anybody, not demoralizing anybody. Like, we will have conflicts, there will be issues, but how do we resolve those issues in the kindest, most humane way? I think that is something that, pre-pandemic was very much a cornerstone for me, and it was very important. Like, at the end of the day, we are all humans. We're working together in pursuit of this thing, but we're still humans. And at the end of the day, we all have feelings, we all have goals, we all have these things, and I have to be respectful of that no matter what's happening. So and profits and P&Ls and all of those things are important, but at the end of the day, those things become much more difficult to achieve when people are demoralized. So I've found that the happier the team, the more engaged you are, the kinder you are. It makes life easier. People understand. People will run back to you and be like, can I come work for you again? I will come work for you for free. Are you okay? Like, we'll check on you. We'll go above and beyond because you showed them a level of kindness. So to the fine tune the point, I think the fact that I'm an empathetic leader that can still achieve business goals, I think is like one of my superpowers.
How about on the flip side? What do you need to work on most?
I am not a great self-marketer. I'm very vocal when it comes to, okay, we're working on a project and I'm like, hey, let's focus on this thing. Like, we have to focus on this contract because without this contract being this, we won't be able to do that. So I'll be vocal in that way, but I'm not a great self-marketer. And I'm okay with being in the corner, just doing my work. All right, my job is to execute. So I think in the past 5 or 6 years, personal branding is really important. And my personal brand has been much more of a fixer. Like, oh, you call, like, somebody has her number and you call her and she'll get it done for you. Kind of like a more of Olivia Pope type of thing versus, having a very like forward facing brand and sitting on panels and doing a lot of things that my peers do, just because I was like, my work speaks for itself. And I think I need to do a much better job of promoting my personal brand and standing up and being like, no, I would like my name on the masthead. I would like to be recognized for this. So I'd say that's definitely a challenge.
How about success? How would you define success in your eyes, in mind?
Well, I would say for me, one of the things I've been so thankful for is that for the past decade plus, I've never woken up and not wanted to go to work. Everything I've done for a living, I've been passionate about.
Awesome.
So.
Me too. I love getting up every day. It's like, I saw my parents as a kid dread going to work. And I was like, man, I am not going to do that. And that's what I tell my kids. Chase your passion, not the dollars. The dollars will come. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, that's great to hear. How about, are you open to relocation? Are you pretty much set in New York City area?
I am open to relocate globally. I'm very flexible there. I'm flexible in terms of types of roles. So a lot of flexibility. It's more about, finding somewhere where my skill set will be of value to the company.
All right. Last thing, I always end it with a fun personal fact about you.
Oh, fun personal fact about me. I was a public speaking and debating champion in high school in Canada. And I used to compete in competitions throughout the country.
Oh, wow. So don't get in an argument with you because you're going to win. Is that?
I have become less argumentative in my as I have matured. I've put the debating hat down.
That's great. That's great. I appreciate you joining me. Hopefully we can, help get some exposure and keep in touch as you're, continuing on your journey, and hopefully be by the palm trees and beach that you have there.
Definitely. I so appreciate you. This is amazing. Thank you so much.